Lotshani, ngitakwande sitshaba samaNdebele. Ngiyathemba namhlanje nizoba nelanga elihle. Guys, today I want to speak to you guys about a few topics, starting to speak with the black and colored people who continue to vote for the DA, even though the signs of racism are clear in that political party. There's something wrong with you guys. Blacks and colored who continue to vote for the DA, you need to be examined, because the former mayor of Tshwane, Randall Williams, has come out to say he was victimized by white DA members who forced him to report to Mr. Brink before he was even the mayor of the party. I mean, this is crazy news that is coming out. I want us to talk about the racism in the DA and how Helen Zille continuously protects the white people over African and colored people in that political party. I also want to speak about Jacob Zuma. There is a message that is making turns on the media, and I'm telling you, Jacob Zuma's message is powerful to us African people. We need to listen to the old man. The elder citizen is making some serious, crucial points that I want to talk about in this video. And also, AFRiFORUM is saying that AFRiFORUM, that the DA and the Freedom Front should reconsider their participation in the government of national unity if the Bella Bill gets passed in its current form. AFRiFORUM, since when does AFRiFORUM partake in politics this much? They were always playing in the background, but this time around, they don't trust the DA or the Freedom Front Plus to take decisions on their own, so they are forcing their hand. I also want to speak about some members that chased my brother from Malawi out of his job. They went there and made him pack his things and said, listen, go back to Malawi. African people, we need to talk. And there is a former Limpopo chairperson of Limpopo who has left the EFF for the MK. What's going on? Let's talk about that and much.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, Kagiso Hlongwane Zinjiva Sono, and we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, I've got a few topics to cover with you guys, and I hope you guys will enjoy this. Guys, you African and colored people, you colored African and black people who continuously vote for the DA, what's wrong with you guys? What is it going to take for you guys to finally wake up? To see the DA for what it is? When are you guys going to wake up? We're just asking this question because we're getting sick and tired of scenarios continuously being brought forward to you guys where you guys can see clearly what is going on, but you refuse to believe your eyes. You refuse to believe your ears in front of you. What is wrong with you people? Why is it that black people and colored people are voting for the DA? It's quite clear where this political party is going. Now, when we talk, we look like we are hating on the DA because obviously we are anti the DA. But when members of the DA themselves talk, do you still not listen? Now listen to the former Tshwane mayor. Listen, this former Tshwane mayor, for some of you who don't know Mr. Randall, he is the Tshwane mayor who was a mayor from February 2020 to October 2023. He was the mayor up until last year. Or was it just earlier? I think it was somewhere earlier in 2023. I will correct myself. But he was the mayor from 2020 to 2023. Now you need to ask yourself, this Brink, when did he fix Tshwane? Because he was just the mayor since last year. Guys.
Since July 2022, there was a faction in my caucus consisting of a few white councillors, a few, not the majority, a few, They then would attack me consistently with the support of Solly, I must say. Solly and some of his friends in the caucus. They would regularly attack me on the caucus WhatsApp groups. So what I also found out, one of them then screenshot the attacks against me, and they sent it to Helen and then claimed that the whole caucus turned against me. So already they got the support of Helen and John to oust me. At the same time, in July, I saw the trouble coming. In July 2022, they suddenly appointed Celius Brink to be in charge of white stakeholders in the city of Tshwane, and that all service delivery issues concerning white residents had to be referred to Celius Brink. And the instruction also implied that I had to, as mayor, had to report to Celius Brink. And I absolutely refused. And I told my chief of staff, there's no way I'm going to report to someone who is not a politician in the city of Tshwane and who's not above me. I'm not going to happen. And then afterwards, Solly sent a WhatsApp message. It was never intended that I should report to Celius Brink. So I could see from that time, and with the faction, there was a move to oust me as mayor. And it was clear. The thinking then already was to appoint Celius Brink. So the point I want to make is disrespect for the multi-party coalition agreement, the ousting of Celius Brink. I don't know why the issue of motions of no confidence has suddenly become a problem. As the DA in the city of Tshwane, we've made extensive uses of it. We brought it several times against Marunwa. We brought it under Solly as well, motions of no confidence. We brought several motions of no confidence in the city of Tshwane to remove the current speaker. So when it suits the DA, motions of no confidence, it's absolutely fine. But when it's against the DA, no, it shouldn't be used. So that is the circumstances. I don't believe Celius Brink has a divine right to govern the city of Tshwane. The city of Tshwane has severe problems. Whether he's the right person to run the country, I can't say. Whether he's the right person, but one thing I do know, he's definitely not the Messiah. The information given to the residents of the city of Tshwane is misleading.
Okay, so just a point of correction. He was the mayor, I had to recheck this, a mayor since 2020, October to February 2023. So he was the mayor for 2 years plus up until 2023 last year, February, and March, then started Mr. Brink, the racist mayor. And you know how he did, how he changed the council, everything, putting on white faces there, you know, and you can hear how these people strategically, they placed him in a position where all of the white businesses and stakeholders must pass through him. And Mr. Williams said, no, this is not going to happen, not under my watch. But they were kept on attacking him. My problem with black and colored DA members who want to pretend as if DA is the savior of South Africa is that they keep quiet whilst they are in the DA. And when things go, when they get fired or get kicked out of the DA, like Musima Imane, Herman Mashaba, then they come out to tell us how bad the DA was. And we ask ourselves, why did you stay there? Why did you stay there? Why didn't you voice out your dissatisfaction to the public by the time that abuse was happening to you? White people attacking you, plus that sold out solely, attacking you, and you kept quiet. Today you want to tell us all of these beautiful stories. Who sent you? You understand what I'm saying? DA people, wake up. That political party is not pro-colored, is not pro-black. This multiracial nonsense is an illusion that is not going to happen in South Africa. The white people have fooled you. They are working for their own people. They are working for their own people. They make no mistake. And if you want a better example, listen to what AFRiFORUM is saying to the DA and the Freedom Front Plus about their participation in the government of national confusion as long as this Bella bill is going to be passed. Listen to what the African people are saying.
AFRiFORUM's board of directors decided unanimously to officially request the DA and FF Plus to reconsider their participation in the government of national unity should the BLR Act be implemented unchanged. We decided this when it became clear that there is a group of anti-Afrikaans activists, not only in the ANC, also in the Gauteng government, and even amongst senior officials in the Department of Education, that were acting contemptuously towards President Cyril Ramaphosa's decision to create an opportunity for further discussions. This group is openly out to derail constructive discussions. The hope that the GNU has ushered in a new era of cooperation will of course be dashed if it turns out to be that the ANC has simply co-opted the DA and FF Plus to blindly follow and implement ANC policies.
And we know that the Mayor Brink has led the AFRiFORUM in the back door in Tshwane. They were working hand in hand with AFRiFORUM there. So AFRiFORUM has come to a point where they are no longer comfortable playing at the background. They are now intervening in political activities in front of our eyes. They are no longer hiding it now, because we always knew from the beginning that AFRiFORUM eventually they will come up with a political movement of a sort, instead of this social movement, classism and racism and tribalism nonsense that they were playing. We knew that they were going to come out with a political party at one point. And now they are losing their patience in regarding to the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. They say, stop working with these blacks. Stop working with them if they want to enforce the Bella bill. What is this Bella bill that they are fighting about? The language issue, that black children and African children must sit in one class. There must not be a separation because of language. Because of language. They don't want that. They want Africans to be preserved, protected, as if Africans is already not protected enough. People in 1976 died because they did not want to learn in Afrikaans. Till today, our black children are still learning in Afrikaans. You should see me struggling with my son doing Afrikaans homework. Oh, we look like two fools there. Asking myself, why is it that these schools cannot implement Tswana, Pedi, these nice schools in town? Because you take your child to the township schools, and no offense to some good township schools that are out there, but the majority of them, your child is just going to be a statistic. You understand what I'm saying? But anyways, AFRiFORUM coming out, stating very clearly that the DA and the Freedom Front Plus must reconsider. They're trying to add some more pressure on Cyril Ramaphosa. Now we're going to see if Cyril fears them or not. But I know the way things are going, it looks like Cyril is testing the DA's firepower. It's like Israel and what is happening that side with the missiles that are flying. Someone said I must comment on it. I'm not interested. I'm not Africans. We are not involved in that thing. Asbayegen lava. Asbayegen. We've got our own issue here in Kenya. Our own wars here in Sudan. Our own wars here in Ethiopia that we can talk about. We've got rebel camps everywhere. We've got attempts at the life of Ibrahim Traore. Those are the things we can talk about. What is happening that side? You guys can, I'm watching from a distance. You guys can discuss those things. I'm concerned about African people. That attention that you want us to give those people, I would rather give it to my African brothers here in Kenya, suffering in Congo, in Congo. Let's talk about what Jacob Zuma said. I'm sure those guys, what a beautiful storyteller Jacob Zuma is, eh? I mean, when he speaks, wow, man, he really captures people's mind, including myself.
Ukubhekana ne-ANC ngo ngashona underground ngoba i-ANC yangifundisa underground konke. Ngasuka lapho ngahlangana nama-political parties amnyama. Kwakungemva kwaleya nkathi abelungu nabantu abamnyama babemile bethi bona kulolu khetho zasoba ndawonye kwasho kwavuka. Ngahlangana nabo ngababiza bonke from PAC bonke. Ngazobatshela ukuthi hey siyohlupheka thina abantu abamnyama kuyoze kube sekugcineni ngoba sikhuluma yonke ipolitiki. We must just come to one important point. Ukuthi abelungu bafika labafunga ukuthi umuntu omnyama ngeke aliphathe lelizwe. Liyophathwa yibo. Bavumela namangisi namabhunu, amangisi aqala lo nkulumo namabhunu avu. Bathi isizathu salokho ukuthi abantu baningi uma kuyokhethwe njengoba sokuzoqalisa iSouth Africa entsha ngeke siphinde siliphathe ngoba liwina abantu abanyama. Asivumelaneni bathi noma kade sesibulalana kodwa asivumelaneni kuloko bavumelana. Sekuyilokhu basiphathayo kusukela lapho. Leso sinqumo sabo yiso leso saba ngelokho ukuthi bakhe umbutho wabantu abamnyama wodwa. Inhlakanipho enkulu esedlula sonke namhlanje isizifundiso. Babengafundile bathi umuntu omnyama akahlangana kwakhiwe ANC. Right? Yinye lento sihlulwa into eyodwa sihlangane thina abantu abamnyama. Sithatha izwe lethu siyiphathele. Singalithatha kusasa. Iqiniso nje lemhlobo. Siyeke konke okunye ipolitiki noma ngabe i-scientific noma ayikho scientific injani, just a normal political understanding yabantu okhokho. Asihlanganeni sibe munye sivote izwe siliphathe sishintshe imithetho sibuse. Asikwazi ukwenza lokho. Imfundiso ezinazo namhlanje zingangotshana.
Power to Pan-Africanism and power to African unity. Power to African unity. Africans, the richest man in Africa is no longer an African. Let that one sink a little bit in you. The richest man in Africa is not an African. Johan Rupert is not an African. He's Dutch or wherever he comes from. He's a European who stays, I don't think he lives here in South Africa, but who's got a South African a passport, obviously. Jacob Zuma says the Dutch and the British have agreed that bona abazophathwa abantu abamnyama in this land. You ask yourself, what does that mean? Do you guys understand the depth of that statement? They have agreed. Noma bebalwa bona self. They have agreed ukuthi these ones will not rule us. Political administrative power is not economical power. We have seen that over the past 30 years. We have seen that you can have government but still don't control the economy. You can have the IEC, but the IEC still reports to the markets. The IEC can say, no, we want to announce the elections because the markets are waiting for these results, because the markets want to respond. We have had government for 20, 30 years, and we have seen it has not changed the lives of African people in the measure of which we thought it will. Yes, there was some significant changes and improvements. Of course there was. But we know as South Africans, we could have been so far if we had black millionaires, black billionaires, black politicians who are pro uplifting the black community. Some businessmen see it as an impossible task, and some are just they don't have the billions that they claim that they have. Because I've continuously said this: if a billionaire is reading an article that said a child has fallen into a pit toilet in East London, why would a billionaire not say, Ahmed, let me find out how many schools are there in South Africa that still don't have proper toilets and build those toilets? A billionaire. You tell me. You know, you don't see billionaires coming out donating to serious, like the families that has been slaughtered in Eastern Cape. Did you hear any billionaire, any millionaire come out and say, oh my goodness, family, what you guys have went through? I'm coming out and I'm, you know, that African Ubuntu spirit. Jacob Zuma is talking about that. And he's saying, aslanganeni sivoteni in one place for one party so that we can win. Then he says something, says, then we change the laws, then see party. There is space for every politician in South Africa. Every top politician has got space in the united front of African political parties. Every black politician, including Ugaten, everyone has got space. If African people can unite, everyone has got space, a ministry to serve in, an MEC to become. There's space for everyone. We just don't see it. And this truth that Jacob Zuma is saying, I hope it rings in someone's mind. Because I continuously tell you guys, we go into the election 2029 with the EFF separate, the MK separate, the ANC separate, and we think maybe after the elections we're going to combine our votes. They have seen the danger of that coming. White monopoly capitalist has seen the danger of that coming. So they're going to play another game in 2029. Nothing in jail. They can see what after President Cyril Ramaphosa leaves the ANC, there is a high possibility that the MK can be in a coalition with the EFF and the ANC, and they will probably have the majority, that 2/3 majority that they are talking about. So they are not going to make that mistake to allow that, as long as we are separate. But Jacob Zuma is saying, let's come together. Let's come together. Tina bavoteli EFF on 3 ballot papers. Proudly. I'm telling you guys, akuna lasi yakhona. And my EFF people don't want to hear this. Even my MK people don't want to hear this. Thinking that MK will win in not as long as the EFF has not supported the MK. The EFF will not win, not as long as the MK has not supported the EFF. Vice versa, or however you want to put it. African people, African leaders need to sit down and say, man, okay, it doesn't matter who's the president, as long as it's one of us. As long as it's one of us. You see? So I can see a scenario where if Cyril is gone, I'm not worried about Fikile. I know Fikile will flip-flop and start speaking Pan-Africanism like you have never heard it before. I'm not worried about Paul Mashatile. I think he will work with the MK. He will work with the EFF. I'm not worried about Panyaza. He will work with the MK. He will work with the EFF. I'm not worried about those people. I'm worried about the leaders coming together and say, we don't need this separation anymore. We are anyways, all of us, the children of the African National Congress. What we thought is a stumbling block is no longer there. Now we can come together. You understand what I'm saying? But I like also the moves that the ANC are doing, frustrating continuously the DA, testing their firepower. I like what the ANC is doing. I have to applaud President Cyril Ramaphosa for these moves that is happening. There in Gauteng, everywhere, man. They are just frustrating the DA in such a manner that I'm asking myself, hey, man, what's going on? I'm confused because I thought they would want to play ball with the DA, but they simply not. So I have to acknowledge some of the good strides that they are doing. And this can only be an advantage for us as African people. A frustrated DA, a DA that walks away from the coalition, which they are not going to, it's a good sign for us. Now, let me get into something, a video that I saw that touched my heart. Let's watch this quickly.
We just chased this guy away because it's a security from where from? Malawi, Zimbabwe. Malawi. He's from Malawi. No, he said no, we don't work for South Africa anymore. So this guy now he's going home. We just chased him away from this company. As you can see, all the clothes and everything. He's gonna put his clothes here and go home. The last clothes from South Africa. Put it here. And go home, back to your country. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Thank you.
Now let me speak to my African people. You guys have heard my opinion when the police go and search factories, go and search their buildings for undocumented African brothers and all of that. And you have seen me support that. I said there needs to be a law in South Africa and it must be followed. But I said the law is blind because it does not attack other nations. It's only black people. And we know that you cannot deny that as a South African. But this is what I want to say about this scenario, this video that I was just showing you guys. You can't, listen to me, no matter how frustrated you are as a community according to your issues, you yourself as the community cannot go chase people out of work without the presence of the police and Home Affairs being there. Please, I'm asking you, if you want to do things like this, do it within the prescripts of the law. Don't turn into a Gaten Mackenzie. Don't do that. This African brother from Malawi is a security, probably getting paid less than 3.5 per month. Waiting there, guarding there, as Pandela, not stealing, not selling drugs. He's a security guard, sitting there trying to make an honest living. You come to his workplace as a fellow African brothers, and I know some of you are not worried. You are like, vele mabahambe. You are kakangani. You are a Gaten Mackenzie in your heart. I understand. But I'm saying, if you want to do this as community forums, community watch groups, whatever, involve the police. Because some of you, your anger is unjustified to the other African children. The next thing, we're going to see acts of violent xenophobic acts that you guys are not going to be able to control. And then we lose a life because of what? Nikhohliwe ukuthi bobana bathethe umhlaba wenu. Nikhohliwe. Ni busy lo umsebenzi of security. King lilibethe na. Nikhohliwe. Have you forgotten who's your colonizers? Have you forgotten that this ID that you have was awarded to you by your colonizers? This thing that you call an identification, who gave it to you, African child? And who gave them the right to be citizens of this country? You don't ask yourself those questions. The only person you can question is a brother from Malawi who's a security guard. No, guys. No, in this channel, I cannot keep quiet when I see my fellow African brothers suffer like this. The embarrassment. That video is making rounds now. His family in Malawi is seeing how we South Africans treat our fellow South African brothers. If you want to do what you did, involve the police. Let the police go there. Let Home Affairs become the immigration officers, be there, check the documents. If he doesn't have a document, then deport him. That is how you guys are supposed to do it according to the law. Not you, only the community, going around searching people, chasing people out. No, guys, no. No, it's wrong. It will never be right. It will never be right. It's wrong. Go on the comment section if you agree and tell me on the comment section why you don't agree with what your boy King is saying. For me, I'm saying it's going to escalate. I know my South African brothers and sisters. It's going to escalate somewhere because one time you're going to find a African brother who is cheeky, who is, because of fear, he wants to defend himself. Whatever the case can be, it's going to escalate to things that are not necessary. Masculine ma Africa. Labantu laba, they are not the ones that colonized us. Niyabazi, ama colonizer wenu niyawazi, and niyawasaba. And bakulumisi, umhlaba wenu anuthati, ama mine wenu anuwatati, ama minerals wenu anuwafuni, ama farm wenu anuwatati, and funi next, mbizi ngalaba batatu msebenzi we KFC, newe security guard. Jesus. Tilizi Maranga, the former Limpopo chairperson, has now left the EFF and went to the MK. I had to Google this lady. I don't know her. I don't know her. I said, this is what I said about people leaving for the MK. I said, do it before the conference in December and I will respect you. Because it is true that next year, just before the local elections in 2026, we're going to see a lot of people running to the MK because they know they're going to win wards. They know they're going to win municipalities. They know they're going to win some metros. They know that there is space in the MK. So many leaders, especially in the EFF, are waiting to see how the game is going to turn out to be in December. And next year, we're going to start leaving them one by one. I mean, the CIC has already told us about those people. So for me, it's like, I know it's going to happen. So if people leave now, for me, it's a political move. It's not a stomach politic driven decision, if you understand what I'm saying. So now it's a political move. If you want to move and go to the MK, for me, an EFF member moving to the MK is not a loss for the Pan-Africanist movement. For me, it's not. It's not. I know it hurts the EFF. I know very much it's not a good look for the EFF. But for me, African people, in terms of the progression of political parties that want to change the lives of black people, have not lost a vote. Unlike someone moving from EFF to IFP, EFF to Arise Mzansi, you know, things like the Rise Mzansi. I mean, moving to those directions for me it doesn't help us anyway. But the MK and EFF issue, we're going to address it. It's going to continuously happen. Big names are going to move. Less expected. Let it not be a shock when people move from one party to another. Just ask yourself as an African child, is it hurting us as black people, or is it one of those frustrations that we need to live with because the vote is not out of the pool? It just moved from one color to another. I don't know. That's what I would like to put on today. So thank you again for everyone that has subscribed to the channel, continuously giving messages of encouragement on the comment section. Sapusha Bafetu. The year is almost finished. You must agree. This year has flown. We're already in October. My goodness. This year has flown so fast for me. So many things has happened, but it looked like time was never enough. So for those who have contributed to PASETA, the Pan-Africanist School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture, thank you so much. Someone said, King, stop talking about PASETA in every video. I'm like, mainstream media does not get tired to brainwash you. And when are you getting tired to listen to an African child talking about an African school? You are on the wrong channel. How can I get tired of speaking about PASETA? How can I get tired about asking African people to support an African idea, an African dream, an African school? How can you are not listening, Mafet, but everyone has got their own opinion. Thank you so much to everyone that has donated. And may God bless you largely for your financial sacrifice that you have done for the school. Until we meet again, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.